I can have everyone's attention. If I can have everyone's attention here in the media center, we welcome Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99 Aflac Ford. This will finish out our media availability here on this Friday. Carl currently sits first in points. Just talk a little bit about being at Phoenix, 2 to go, and this newly surface that you've been practicing on today.
I've been a little nervous about coming here, not knowing what the track's going to be like and how we're going to stack up, but practice went really well. We're really, really fast, so I'm excited about it. We're fast in race trim, pretty fast in qualifying trim. The track is a little more forgiving than it was in testing. In testing, I was a little nervous about it. We came here for the Goodyear tire test. It was really treacherous those first couple of days. Then the test with all the cars was a little better, and now it's even better. So, I'm looking forward to the nationwide race because I think it'll help me personally to get a little more time on the track, and I also think it could possibly widen the groove a little bit more too, which will be good for Sunday.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. We'll take our first one from Jorge, then come to Jay, then Shannon, then Lee, then we'll just go down the line.
Jorge Mendaca, FoxSports.com. Carl, obviously, you know the history of what happened here last year. How do you prevent that from happening? How do you leave here not only the championship leader but also have momentum going into the final race at Homestead?
Well, the history last year was pretty good for me. What do you mean?
Denny Hamlin's history being the championship leader and then.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me. History is behind us. What we're doing right now is going out here and performing the best we can, doing everything we can to extend this points lead. Tony's been unbelievable the last 2 weeks. I mean, nobody can discount how strong they've been, but there's a little bit of pride on our side knowing that even as good as they've been, 4 wins in the chase, we're still leading, we're still beating them, and we're gonna hold them to that level of performance. They're going to have to run that well to beat us, and I have a lot more confidence after practice here. I think that we're going to be pretty good.
Go ahead.
Jay Hart, Yahoo Sports. How new of a track is this? And you weren't very good in the first practice, but you're pretty good in the second practice. Or is something going on there?
Yeah, we didn't make a qualifying run the first practice. So, but race trim we were fast, qualifying trim we were fast, and this is, to me, from the driver's seat, it feels to me like a brand new racetrack. It feels like a completely different track. It's not something that you come here and say, oh, hey, you can't rely on your stats from previous Phoenix races and say, hey, this guy's going to be good or this guy's going to be good. I think that the track is that different.
And you've been pretty good at this track. Does that sort of neutralize that? Does it kind of just make it really the wild card?
Definitely, yes. I don't think any prior success or trouble here is going to mean anything once this race starts. I think that, like I said, this is so different. It's the pavement drives differently. The layout is a little different. The setups are different. I mean, it's going to be its own race, and that's why I was a little nervous to come here because you just don't know how you're going to stack up after practice, and I feel pretty good now. So I still think there's a huge opportunity for this to be a very difficult race because passing might be extremely hard. So, if you don't have the right strategy, if you have trouble on pit road, if you make a mistake and you fall back in the pack, I think it's going to be really tough to recover.
We'll take our next question from Shannon.
Shannon Spake, ESPN. You're a little more upbeat than you were Sunday night in the media center at Texas. I know that you have a lead on Tony, but just considering how well that team's performed since the chase began, do you feel like you control your destiny in this championship?
Yeah, I do. I feel that they've obviously had flashes of great speed and they've won 4 races and we haven't. But I feel that the job that we've done I'm very proud of it. It doesn't we don't have trophies lined up, but the recoveries that we've made, the consistency that we've shown, and the ability to come back from really tough days. I think I wouldn't have been able to do it a year ago or 2 years ago, and I'm pretty proud of that. And at the end of the day, it's we're leading the points. I mean, they're chasing us. They've got to come overtake us in these last 2 races and beat us. And yeah, Sunday was not what we wanted. I mean, we definitely wanted to finish in front of Tony. But after I left there and thought about it a little bit, I realized, hey, I know what that feels like to win and have the guy that you're chasing in points finish second. Jimmy Johnson did that to me in 2008 at Atlanta, and and that's. Tony's he's got to feel that the same way and realize that, hey, we're going to be tough.
So with a practice like this, do you feel maybe there's a little bit of a shift in momentum, given that you were so high on the speed charts?
I don't know. I don't want to say that there's a shift in momentum. I mean, those guys, they really have been performing amazingly well. So, we'll see what happens in this race. But I don't think we could be. I'm really, really happy. I feel like a weight's off my shoulders right now that practice did go so well. We didn't have a major problem with the handling. The car's running really well. And all of the stuff we planned on doing worked out well. So I think we're in a good spot.
Go ahead with your question, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Denny Hamlin, who was leading the points in this race last year, said he thinks you're the favorite because you're in the points lead. But he said he's only raced as hard as he's had to up to the last week. And it's worked for them so far. I mean, it just seems like you've been, playing defense the whole time. And, do you play offense? Do you change anything with 2 races to go?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to drive. I'm going to keep that close to my vest. But I do have a pretty good plan. I know what we're going to go do, and I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I do believe that, barring some circumstance which can happen in racing to anyone, I think if we run the way that we plan on running here for the next 2 weeks, I believe that the guys that if they want to beat us, they're going to have to go win a race or two. They're going to have to really step it up like they have been. So, no, I think we're pretty good. I mean, I think you can look at that a couple different ways. I mean, we haven't won one race in the chase. We're leading the points, and those guys won 4, and for some reason they're still behind us. So I think it shows a lot of it tells you a lot of things about our team, and we feel that. I mean, heck, we couldn't be in a better position. I mean, truly, for the way that we've run. I mean, the true speed we've had in the cars over the first 8 races, to still be leading the points over guys that have won races, and Tony's won 4. I mean, that says a lot about our team, and now all that's behind us. We have to just go perform these last 2 races, and it's going to come down to just a battle, and I think it's going to be fun.
Okay, we'll take our next question from David Caravello. Then we'll come down to David Newton, Reed Spencer, Dustin Long.
David Caravello, NASCAR.com. Question, a follow-up. Carl, we don't really think of you and Tony as buddies. We don't really think of you as enemies either. Can you sort of characterize what the nature of your relationship's been with Tony over the years?
Well, it's getting worse every week. He keeps winning. I think it's good. I think, Tony's a guy I've looked up to a lot. I think he's done a lot of the things as a racer that racers all over the country can look up to. And I've learned a lot about Tony over the last couple of years, and I've come to respect him as a person. And I'd say we have just a good competitive relationship. And for us, it's pretty neat to be holding off a 2-time champ, having the best chase he's ever had. I mean, it's neat to be battling with him. And if we can continue and hold him off and win this thing, that will make it. If it truly comes down to the end, like I believe it's going to, I do believe it's going to come down to the last lap at Homestead. If it comes down to that and we beat him, that's going to feel good. That it's Tony. It's a guy that's got that, that's got that much, has that many achievements in the garage or in racing.
Tony said you are a good guy to be in a points battle with. Does that just go back to the respect you two have for each other as drivers, and there are no real surprises between the two of you as far as how you race each other?
I don't know. I think we're both racers, and it's just pretty neat. And like I said, it's just fun. I believe we do both respect each other, and we've gone through times where we did not like each other, and then we've gone dirt racing together and done the stuff that we've done at Eldora, and that's been a lot of fun. And now like I said, it would mean a lot. It does mean a lot that it's him that we're battling, because if we can go beat him, like I said, during the best chase that he's ever had, 2-time champ, if we can beat him like that head to head, there's going to be a lot of pride in that for us.
Next question from David.
David Newton, ESPN.com. I was kind of go down the same line he was going down. Does that mean you go hang out and drink Schlitz with Tony, or?
No, I could be his designated driver, I guess. But.
No, seriously, I was going to go. But when you were talking about, what your plan is, and you think it's going to come down to the final lap, Do you feel like, though, you have to change your strategy a little bit and maybe go for a win? I'm not saying you weren't trying to win before, but you feel like you have to put it out there on the line a little more now that it's so tight and just two drivers?
Well, it's a balance. It really is. I mean, last week, those last few laps, I was hanging it out. And I think you could tell from, Tony after the race. I think he was spent. He'd given it all he had. And that's, if we'd had one more caution, if we'd had another restart, that's the kind of racing that, we all grow up and watch on TV and think, man, it'd be cool to be in a race like that and a points battle and everything that goes with that. And a couple people have reminded me this week to say, hey, man, just have fun with this. You're in an amazing position. And so I've been trying to focus on that a little bit, and it's pretty neat. But I don't know that we have to really change anything. We've led the points. I've said this 100 times. We've led the points for 20-something weeks or whatever this season, and we've done it the way we know how to do it and the way we know we can. And and we might have to step it up just a little bit here these next two races. But I'm not gonna. I don't feel like we're in a position yet where we have to really change anything. I think we have to just go race as hard as we can.
Just go with it. Go ahead with your question, Dustin. Get your mic.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Carl, you mentioned earlier just about your team's ability, your ability to recover, and you said you wouldn't have been able to do that a year ago or 2 years ago. Why wouldn't you be able to do that, and what's different? What are you doing differently now that's allowing you to get through those? Because certainly you've had some tough days in this chase. Yeah,
we've had some really tough days the last couple of years, and then this chase we've had some bad ones, but I think our relationships, Bob and I specifically, Jack and I think all of those relationships are better now in that we understand one another better. We're able to work through problems better. We don't fall apart maybe the way we could or we have before in the past. And I think all that stuff makes us better. And I think that starting about middle of the season last year, we turned a corner with performance, and we've been on a run that's lasted longer, I think, than any other run we've had. And I feel like we're on this run for the right reasons, and I'm really happy about the future and excited about the future, not just these next couple races in this championship. I'm real excited about going forward into next year and 2013 and all the things we've got coming.
How did you break down in the past? I don't remember.
It's not. We never really. I mean, I've had my moments, but we never really broke down. There are times, like anyone in sports, you can make things worse, and this year I felt like we've made things better, when things are bad, and it's a big step, it's tough to do during the race in the heat of the moment to have those kind of relationships and be able to help one another. I mean, that's hard to explain, but the way Bob is to me and the way Jack is to me and the way we work together is huge for our performance.
Okay, final question from Reed.
Does he do the radio first?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What's up? Yeah, that's fine. Do you guys have some more questions, or do you want me to?
Yeah, no, go ahead and do the radio.
Okay. Okay.